Everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review, and today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And today we're going to take a look at the new Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitor's TIE Advanced prototype fighter with figure. This is based on figure and vehicle from the new Star Wars Rebels animated television series, which can be seen on the Disney XD, and it is a Target store exclusive. Basically what makes this a Target store exclusive is the vehicle comes with a figure. You can find this vehicle at other retailers, but it won't have the figure, and then the figure itself should be released separately as well. But if you want both the vehicle and the figure in one package, then you have to go to Target. So the figure comes the ship comes packaged in what's pretty standardized Star Wars Rebel packaging. You've got orange borders, basically, with the orange Star Wars Rebels logo and the Stormtrooper helmet up in the top left corner of the box. You've got some somewhat pretty cool artwork showing the ship firing, and you've got a Rebels vehicle behind it with an explosion. This is a multilingual packaging, so you've got basically writing in different languages, and you've got the Target exclusive sticker and the Star Wars Rebel logo down at the bottom corner along with Hasbro's logo. On one side, or on the bottom, it shows the other vehicle that's also a Target exclusive, the Phantom Attack Shuttle. Now again, the vehicle itself's not exclusive, but if it comes with another Rebels figure, and so if you want the vehicle with the figure, you have to get it at Target. You can find this vehicle again elsewhere without the figure, and the figure that it comes with will also be sold separately. Then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at the actual toy, showing off some features, the wings that fold, the firing missiles, and that a figure can be seated in the cockpit. And then there's also just a little brief bio about the TIE Advanced prototype is used to track down Jedi, or the Inquisitors one, that is. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here it is outside of the packaging, and as you'll notice, there is some minor assembly required once you take it out of the box. It's nothing major. Basically, it has a piece that fits on the bottom, and I don't even really know why this, was not attached, why they don't have this attached when you take it out of the packaging, because it should still fit in the box even with this little panel piece. And once you snap it on, it's not really meant to be removed anymore, but basically all you do is you just snap it on there and it fits in securely, and then you have to snap on the canopy, which just has little pegs that fit in the holes there, and then once you do it opens. It's made to open. And then the only other thing is it has 2 missiles which you can put in, which you can push a button and they do fire. The button is located on the bottom of the vehicle, so you just push it and it fires both missiles at the same time. And they don't fire too far or anything, but again, that is a feature of the vehicle, is the firing missiles. And the vehicle itself does look better with the missiles in than out, in my opinion. So you probably want to keep them in there. So anyway, another feature that this vehicle has that we have not typically seen with TIE Fighter toys in the past. Now the wings are not removable like has been typical with previous TIE Fighters, but they do fold closed, which is kind of a cool feature. Especially like if you were docking it in a landing bay or something, it would be kind of cool, that the wings fold closed like that. So I like that feature. And you can also actually fold all the way open, so you could have it posed in various wing positions if you wanted to. I don't know, my guess is you'd never see it fly like this in the cartoon, but it looks kind of cool. And again, you know, you can basically have them open or closed. Now, the only drawback to this feature is that sometimes when you like have the vehicle sitting down and you're like putting your figure inside of it or something, sometimes the wings will collapse under the vehicle's own weight. So that can be a little bit of a pain. But otherwise, you know, for the most part, I do like that feature. Now, besides the minor assembly that's required, there is actually also a very small decal sheet that this comes with. And again, there's an instruction manual that this comes with, so it tells you how to put everything together and how to put the little decals on. I'm not a fan of decals myself. I know some people do like that, but they are very tiny decals, and they don't really add a whole lot to the overall look of the vehicle. But basically, you know, so you can see these little red decals on the top, and then also on the bottom that you apply if you want to. And then it's got some other like little red lights on the back, which are nice. I like the paneling on the inside of the wings. Looks nice, and that's actually kind of, it's not stickers, it's sculpted on there, so that's nice. And then the outside is more smooth, like with some sculpting details on the wings. And then the canopy or the cockpit, it's got the window, the traditional TIE Fighter window, which is clear plastic. And then there's some detail on the inside of the canopy or the cockpit. You can see the seat and some controls. Not really any lights. It's all basically a dark, sculpted in an all dark grayish type plastic. But you do see some sculpting detail inside there in the cockpit. And just to note, the canopy, it's got the little windows, though they're just painted in black. They're not actual, like on previous TIE Fighters. You know, they've actually made these open. On this it's not, it's just painted black. So I just wanted to note that. So this TIE Fighter is definitely smaller than previously released TIE Fighter toys from Hasbro. Unfortunately, at the time of this review, I did not have handy any of the other TIE Fighter toys to do a size comparison, but this thing basically is about 9.5 inches across in width. And it's definitely, you know, you can see right off the bat that it's definitely a smaller toy than previous TIE Fighters. I don't know scale-wise in the show how this compares to a regular TIE Fighter. Yeah, as far as I know, this actual vehicle has not actually shown up in the cartoon yet. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, because this is a Target exclusive, this version does come with an actual action figure, a figure of the Inquisitor. Now, the Inquisitor himself has only appeared briefly in one episode so far in the Rebels animated series, and basically, if you're not familiar, he basically is sent to hunt down Jedi. Essentially, Technically, I don't think he's not an actual Sith, though he does use a lightsaber, but his job in the Empire is basically to hunt down rogue Jedi that escaped the initial Order 66. And so the figure itself is actually pretty cool looking. I like the detail on the face sculpt. He's got the red markings to give him that almost Sith-like look. And then he's got black and gray. Well, the armor pieces that he wears are black, and then he has gray. His uniform is gray, Imperial gray, basically. And then he comes with a lightsaber, a double-bladed lightsaber, kind of similar to, you know, Darth Maul, but a little bit different. The handles are definitely different. And again, I haven't actually seen this in the cartoon yet, so I've only seen the toys, you know, the role-play items and stuff. They're out there, so... But yeah, it's definitely pretty cool. Now, this figure does lack, and all the Rebel figures unfortunately do lack any real articulation. They have just very, very basic articulation, unfortunately. So, you know, he can turn his head left and right. Even with the big collar that sticks up, he can still get his head turned pretty well. No up or down movement at all with this. Just rotation on the arms. So he can do his arms that way, but he can't do his arms out. No midsection articulation. He can just do the legs forward and back. No elbow articulation, no wrist articulation, and no knee or ankle articulation. So just, again, very basic articulation on this figure. And then he can hold the lightsaber in either hand. Of course, he can't do much with it other than just kind of hold it to his side. Because, again, he doesn't even have wrist articulation, so you can't turn it or anything. But that's basically it. And you can't, again, hold it in either hand. So the figure stands at just about 4 inches tall. It's basically in scale with other Star Wars figures in the the 3 1/4 inch scale Star Wars figures that Hasbro's done. So even though he doesn't have that great of articulation, you can still stand him with other previously released Star Wars figures. So here he is with a Darth Vader figure. You can see Darth Vader's a little bit taller, which I assume that's probably accurate. Again, we haven't actually seen these two together on screen, but other than a hologram, but I assume Darth Vader, being a tall character, is probably a little bit taller than the Inquisitor. Here he is next to an Emperor Palpatine figure, and you can see Palpatine is a little bit shorter than the Inquisitor, so again, that probably sounds about right to me. And then just for other comparisons, here he is again next to Grand Moff Tarkin. Inquisitor is a little bit taller. Here he is again standing next to an original Kenner Boba Fett figure, just to give you a size comparison. Unfortunately these figures share about the same type of articulation, but you can see the Inquisitor is taller than the Kenner figure. And then just for one more size comparison, here he is next to one of the original clone, based on that original Cartoon Network mini animated series that Hasbro did figures of. You can see both of them have somewhat of an animated look to them, and not a whole lot of articulation. One more size comparison, even though they will be releasing actual Rebel versions of Stormtroopers, here he is standing next to some previously released, more articulated Stormtroopers from Hasbro. And you can, again, see Inquisitor is a little bit taller than them, but looks like it's a pretty good fit scale-wise. Finally, the figure fits pretty decently inside the vehicle. Now again, because of very minor articulation, basically you just have to put the feet forward and sit him down. So very basic, but he fits in there nicely, and the cockpit closes without any issues. And then if you wanted to use other figures besides the Rebels figures for this vehicle, they also for the most part seem to fit pretty well in the vehicle. So if say Darth Vader wanted to commandeer the Inquisitor's prototype, maybe to test it out to see if he wants to use this vehicle for himself, it looks like he's going to be a little bit snug because Vader's taller, but you can actually get him down pretty good, and the cockpit closes without too much problem. So even a taller figure like Vader will fit in here if you wanted him to. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I actually end up liking this vehicle a lot more than I originally thought I was going to. I think the overall detail in the vehicle is pretty nice. I like the folding wing feature on the TIE Fighter itself. The only downside to that is that those wings do sometimes kind of collapse under the vehicle's own weight. But other than that, I do like that feature. The figure itself, I like the look of the figure. The detail's pretty nice. The lack of articulation, even from a kid's perspective, I think is a little disappointing. At least give it some basic elbow and knee articulation so that you can get him into some kind of lightsaber fighting poses. But other than that, I think the figure does look pretty good. And I like how it does seem to fit in pretty nicely with your other previously released Star Wars figures. So this Target exclusive is hitting Target shelves now. So if you want to pick it up, start looking. It's going to cost around, I think it's $26, which isn't too bad for today's prices for a vehicle and figure. But again, if you want just the vehicle, you can buy it elsewhere without the figure, and the figure will be released separately as well. So that's my review. I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.